I guess I can say a parent's worst nightmare happened to me in 2021, the early parts of 2021. My newborn infant, who had the regular scheduled 2-month ones that are given to them, and within a couple of days, had a very severe, life-threatening reaction to that. And just to explain how bad this was, I'll just give you some details. So I put him to bed. This is a newborn baby. I was trying to get some pictures, but I couldn't put my hands on them for today. So I put him to bed, and I always tried not to get too emotional because it was one of the worst experiences. So I put him to bed, and within 1 hour, he woke up screaming. Now, have you ever heard a newborn baby scream? I don't think this is not usual. Yes, they cry, they could be high-pitched, but this was literally like a screaming cry, as if an excruciating pain. So I ran to him, I put him on the bed, because my first thought is I need to check and see what is causing, maybe it's something physical causing this pain. We noticed that his legs were turned blue, his feet were curled in, like his toes and feet were curled, it was also blue, and he was just screaming. His face was red. His skin was red at that time, and then, so we called an ambulance, and then within a short space of time, he went pale and quiet. And I thought at that moment, that's like, I lost my child. That was literally what went through my head. And all I could do was I put my hands on him, and I called on God and started to pray over him, and I just had my hands on him, and I was just praying. Within a few moments, he went calm for a little while, and he appeared to come back. I think he had a seizure, and his legs, it wasn't blue anymore, but there were spots, and they give these in the thigh of the little one when they're little. And so literally from where that was given, going all the way down his legs, there were these red spots, there's a word for it, and it's usually signifying like broken blood vessels. So he was admitted to hospital for 3 days. They ran every single test you can think about. He had so much invasive blood tests and so much things happening. His blood tests were all off. But here's what happened. At the end of those 3 days, we left the hospital with no diagnosis. They couldn't explain what happened. And throughout the whole process, I kept saying, you just had those for the 2-month schedule. And they're like, no, it couldn't possibly be that. That would not cause that. Now, he immediately also developed eczema, something he didn't have before this. So we had, now being a mother, you go with your instincts, and I just started doing a lot of research, and you can't find this information, unfortunately, on regular websites and so on, because it's so controlled. I started looking in moms groups for people who would have had similar experiences, and I insisted I'm going to find this. I was able to find some people who had similar experiences, and then I was able to also find a study that was done in the Netherlands, it was in the early parts of 2000, in the early part of the 2000s it was published, but I think the study was done in the 90s going into 2000, somewhere around that time, I can't remember exactly. And this happened to us in 2021, and not one doctor could figure out what happened. This study was called discolored leg syndrome after, and it spoke of more than 1,000 babies, literally newborn babies, that this would have happened to, having those same combination. And so I was able to find a specialist who, right off the bat, he said to me, 100% that's what caused it. And this was during the time that they were also pushing those COVID ones, which were the new ones that sparked so much controversy. And so this topic is very, very dear to my heart, and this literally led to my full-blown awakening to go down all the rabbit holes and figure out what was happening. As a mother, as a parent, and I have to mention that affected my son's ability to walk, and his legs going into the, even up to now, so he's 4, and he started walking only closer to 3 years old, and that was with no help from the allopathic medical field. This was working with him, massaging, energy clearing, that kind of more natural things.
He had those braces for a while he had to wear too, right?
Yeah, he's still supposed to be wearing those braces to correct the positioning of his feet. And, he was a normal baby when he was born. Yes, he was born a little early, but, he was healthy.